If you're running a business, you know the feeling, right? It's that constant firefighting, that operational chaos that just never seems to end. Well, today, we're going to talk about how to actually break free from that cycle. We're going to dive into how you can take all those invisible, unwritten rules that are somehow holding your company together and turn them into a real, powerful, automated system. A system for growth and, let's be honest, a system for your own sanity.
So let's just kick things off with a question that really gets to the heart of it all. Right now, is your most important business knowledge trapped inside the heads of your key people? I mean, really think about that. What happens if your best salesperson walks out the door tomorrow or your operations manager has to take a month off? That's the ticking time bomb we're going to diffuse today. You see, relying on specific people like that, it leads us straight into our first big topic, the hidden chaos that is quietly derailing so many great businesses. And let me be clear, this isn't about having bad employees. It's about the massive risk of not having solid systems in place. I mean, does any of this sound painfully familiar? Tasks just vanishing into thin air? Your entire team running on memory and scribbled notes? Critical updates getting buried in some chaotic WhatsApp group? Look, this isn't a personal failure, it's a systems failure. So many businesses are stuck here with amazing employees who are just working unconsciously. They know their one little piece of the puzzle perfectly, but nobody is seeing the big picture. And this journey is one that pretty much every business takes. You start out with manual work, then you level up to emails and spreadsheets. And hey, for a while, it actually works. But as you grow, as the data piles up, those spreadsheets start to creak and groan until they eventually just break. They hit a hard wall. And it's that exact breaking point that led to the solution we're about to explore.
So, who on earth figured this out? Let's meet the expert behind all this. And we're not just talking about another software developer here, we're talking about someone who approached business problems like a scientist.
And this quote, man, it just says it all. He does not study a business. He understands its voice. This is so important. It's not about forcing some rigid off-the-shelf template onto a company. It's about listening. It's about decoding how a business really operates, its unique rhythm, its own language, and all of its specific little pain points.
And look, this solution wasn't dreamed up in some quiet office. It was forged in the real world. We're talking about over 200 on-the-ground visits to actual businesses. This is about seeing the challenges on the factory floor, in the warehouse, in the sales office, not just reading about them in a report. That's what makes this whole thing so incredibly practical.
So here's the method that came out of all that fieldwork. It's basically the scientific method, but for business. First, you observe what's really happening and model it. Then you simulate and implement. And then, and this is the magic part, you measure the results and you refine the system. It's a constant feedback loop. This is how you stop guessing and start building a business based on science, a system that's predictable, measurable, and always getting better. Okay, so we've dug into the problem, we've seen the super rigorous scientific approach. Now let's get to the good stuff, the actual solution that came out of all that work.
Just take a second and think about your own company. Every single business has workflows like this, whether you've drawn them out or not. A new order comes in, someone checks inventory, it goes to production, but so often the whole thing is completely invisible. It just exists in people's heads. And that's a perfect recipe for inconsistency and a whole lot of risk.
And this is the big aha moment. This is the whole idea. What if you could take that invisible, tangled web of a process and make it totally visible, totally structured, and even automated? That right there is the game-changing promise. And here it is. It's called Process Sutra. So what is it? Simply put, it's a workflow automation platform built specifically to fix the exact problem we've been talking about, to take those hidden, person-dependent processes and turn them into crystal clear, system-driven engines that everyone in the company can see, follow, and trust. Okay, so how does it actually do that? Sounds great in theory, right? Let's pop the hood and take a quick look at how it works and the path it lays out to get your business automated. From a bird's eye view, it's a living cycle. You design your process, your team starts using it, you watch the results on a live dashboard, you analyze what's working and what's not, and then you use those facts to optimize and make it even better. The big takeaway here is that it's not some static binder you create once and then it gathers dust on a shelf. It's alive. It all kicks off with this first simple but unbelievably powerful step.
You use a visual drag and drop builder to map out your process, piece by piece. You are literally pulling that tangled mess out of your head and laying it out in a clear, logical flow. This single act of making the invisible visible is the bedrock of the entire transformation. Next up, for any step in your process where you need to collect information, say a customer's address or a quality check photo from the assembly line, you just attach a simple digital form. Now, this is so crucial because it means you're not just tracking the task itself, you're capturing all the vital data that goes with it in a perfectly structured and consistent way every single time.
And finally, all this amazing structured data feeds directly into a live dashboard. This thing becomes your mission control. With one look, you can see every single job in progress, instantly spot bottlenecks where things are getting stuck, and measure the real-time performance of your whole operation. You're just not flying blind anymore. So, we've looked at the building blocks, piece by piece. Now let's zoom out and look at the end result, the big payoff, that incredible transformation from a state of total chaos to one of absolute control. I mean, this chart really says it all, doesn't it? The shift is night and day. You go from being person-driven to system-driven. You go from guesswork and gut feel to making decisions backed by actual data. And maybe the biggest one of all, knowledge moves from being trapped inside people's heads to being permanently embedded in the system itself.
And these are the outcomes you can actually feel. Your operations get faster and you feel in control, like you're finally driving the car instead of being dragged along by it. Profit stops being this stressful thing you have to force, and it just becomes a natural result of being efficient. But maybe the biggest prize of all for any owner is this: building a business that can actually run when you're on vacation without your phone blowing up.
So we'll leave you with this one last question to chew on. After seeing this journey from total chaos to complete control, you've got to ask yourself, is my business really running on a system, or is it just running on the memory of my team and a little bit of borrowed time?